Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is an amazing show. This is Real Estate Uncensored. I have Mr. Nick Sacka sitting shotgun with me. We're going to be riding and diving and just going deep on all kinds of things real estate. Now, here's the one thing I want you guys to understand. Nick Sackas is a legend. He's an absolute myth. Like, you don't know him, then you don't know what you don't know. He's going to be bringing hammer like nobody's business. So, Nick, tell everybody who you are, where you're from.
What's up, buddy? So this is our Real Estate In and Out, right? An REU In and Out. New episodes that we're dropping that are shorter, 15, 20 minutes. We're answering your questions. So if you're seeing in the comments, there's a link there where you can actually submit a question to us to play on the show. We have a question from our buddy Adam. It's the first thing that we're going to do, but I'm doing pretty good today. I'm wearing a Buck shirt. I hope that this year we have Baker Mayfield coming, that everybody's kind of hemming and hawing about. Not really sure what to make of that, but I'm hopeful for the 23-24 season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And
of course, you would love your East Coast sports teams. Come on, man.
Unfortunately, Gene isn't here. I was all pumped up to tell him how excited I was, even though I'm a Bucs fan, that I will be coaching my son's flag football team here in 2 weeks. And since I'm the coach, I got to pick the team. And of course, my 6-year-old is an Eagles fanatic, just like Gene Volpe. So we are going to be the Eagles. So I might have some Eagles swag on here pretty soon.
All right, let's see what you got. But let's go to our first clip of our show. Let's play it and let's answer it. Ready?
First question from our buddy Adam. I think it's Adam House. Just Adam. So here we go.
Hey guys, I had a question for you. So I had an idea of going through RedX and going through all the FSBOs and the FURBOs, pulling up their Zillow listings, and basically using ChatGPT to enhance their listing descriptions. And through Vortex, that it does have emails. Not all of them are accurate, but if I do it enough times, I'm sure I'll find some that are accurate. Basically, the plan is to offer them my services for free, basically, and update their listing description, and then letting them know that if they want to contact me for anything else, they can do that. But I do mention in the email that that I am using artificial intelligence to help me do this. But I just thought this would be a really good idea, and maybe I'll get some people that really appreciate it. So what are your thoughts?
All right, Nick, I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely love this idea from a reciprocity standpoint, right? So our first reaction, our gut reaction, which kind of leads into my question for Greg here later, which I'm not going to spill yet, but our first reaction is just to call these people, right? Call these people, hammer them, like, I'm the best realtor in town, you should be choosing me, like all that kind of nonsense, where this is a totally different approach where you're giving value. So these people are on the market and you are telling them, hey, I am a licensed realtor, so I am a professional in this field. I know I can write a better listing description than you. This is not what he's saying, obviously. But then utilizing artificial intelligence, which obviously I love, to help him scale a little bit more. So now we can take a whole marketplace of people and give them something from goodwill, reciprocity. The law of reciprocity would stand. And out of, I don't know, 100 emails sent out, maybe he'll get a couple that come back, and maybe get a couple of appointments out of just sheer doing something different, which I absolutely love. We're in a completely crowded marketplace. There's way too many agents. These for sale by owners and for rent by owners are getting hammered every single day, and they absolutely hate it. And then they get a nice email from Adam saying, oh, well, this is a nice gesture. Like, this is nice. This is a good listing description. I think I would appreciate that. So I love this tactic. I think, Adam, it's your responsibility now to do this tactic and then report back to the show of some of your results to let us know how it went, right?
Well, but there's also a different take on that. I mean, I completely agree with you, but there has to be some sort of human interaction and reaction to comments, thoughts, theories, concerns, everything else. You can't just let Chat GTP just run your world. I mean, that's a wonderful way to go about it, but it's just not reality. So, in that, again, that's my opinion. I would go back and I would let it write something for you, but then edit it and make it your own.
Sure.
Don't just rely on AI. And AI is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's changing our lives. It's gonna, and this is the baby stages of this thing. So take this with a grain of salt. But go out there, put it into the AI, but then edit it for what is actually specific about the property or whatever you're trying to build, because it's only as good as you say, right? It's not a specific, it's not super targeted at this point in regards to getting the results you want. I have found that with using AI, it's been, how do I say this, Nick? Yeah, it's been very,
Hit or miss.
it made my life very easy, very fast, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
So go out there and use your own brain, ladies and gentlemen. That's really as far as I can throw the football on this one. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody, when you're a nail, everybody's a hammer. They're gonna try to find you and pound you out on this stuff.
Yeah.
So just don't allow the easiness of this to define your professionalism. You're a human being. You sell real estate. You buy, you sell, you represent other human beings. Yes, use the tools. Yes, please do that.
Yeah.
But do not fall into the trap of just going, oh my gosh, this is where it is. I can let everything be done through this AI program. Guys and gals, that's a really easy way to fall into into something that's not real.
Yeah.
Just go out there and use it, but modify it and then oversee it.
Yep.
Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And we've talked about this before where, you should view yourself as an editor. You're using, instead of being the producer, you're using artificial intelligence to do more of the production and do more of the heavy lifting, and then you come back and you're the editor. So you're actually fact checking. And that's the one thing about Chat GPT right now. And this is one thing we're working on at likely.ai, right? We are infusing large language models with real factual data from MLSs, from big data that we've collected, which is why likely.ai is the real estate artificial intelligence leader. But our prompts that we're using inside our platform are actual and factual, right? Actual and factual. That's a weird thing to say. Whereas Chat GPT, it's imagining things, right? The prompts for Chat GPT and all these cognitive AIs are all imaginatory, right? Let me imagine these things. So you put the house in 5 different times, you're going to get 5 different things because it's imagining different things every single time. When you infuse large language models with actual data, like we're doing at likely.ai, which everybody's going to be able to try here very shortly. We haven't officially launched the page yet, but we're going to have a page where you could actually go in. Adam doesn't even know this yet. He'll be the first one I'll send the link to, but you'll be able to go to the page and input an address and then get a real listing description in real time based on factual data it'll pull from the property. So we're infusing that and we're making it the next step, which is like what Greg said. You can't rely on large language models or Chat GPT to do the work for you. So there has to be an intermediary in there in between, and likely is that intermediary right now for real estate.
Yeah, well put, my friend. I appreciate the compliment. This is a quote that I got out of a great book called Blue Fishing by a guy named Steve Sims. Highly recommend everyone go out and read this book. Very short read, very easy to read. Fuck, if I can do it, then you guys can do it as well. I'm dyslexic and ADHD, so trust me, if I can stay tuned, you can. One of the quotes I got out of this thing, and Nick, I want to get your opinion on this. It says, "Don't be afraid of change. Be afraid of standing still." And once you read that and you hear that, and I'm going to say it again, don't be afraid of change. Be afraid of standing still. What does that mean for your life, Nick? What does that mean for all of our listeners and viewers and everybody else? Are you afraid of change? Because it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Nick and I were talking off air about some certain different aspects of our lives, and that has to do with change. And then be afraid of standing still. So which one is the biggest fear? Not doing something or doing something? because I have my answer. Nick, I want to hear your thoughts.
Is this my official answer? Is this my official question?
I hope so.
Hold on. I think we have to add the timer. Let's add the timer. So the official question is, am I more afraid of standing still or doing what's the actual question?
So here's the question. Don't be afraid of change, right?
Yeah.
So are you afraid of change?
Okay.
Or be afraid of standing still. So you afraid of standing where you are, or you're afraid of moving forward, I guess is the real question. What's the biggest fear for you? Moving forward or staying still?
So I would probably say moving forward would have been a bigger fear for me before, until you unlock the capability of moving forward. So if you've stood still your whole life and you've never done it, like that's people suffer from the paralysis analysis type of thing, or something that you're really afraid of. Like, even though you guys might not know it, I was terrified of public speaking. I'm still not great at it, right? I can hop on a podcast like this, hundreds of thousands of people. It doesn't bother me at all because this is my element. Put me on a stage in front of 1,000 people, I'm getting really nervous, right? Which is a good thing. Nerves are okay. But once you do that thing and you realize you didn't die from it, then you're like, oh, I can do this again. But what you have to do is just do it again and keep going and going and going. So for me, that initial fear, I think, is paralyzing for most. And that would have been my first thing, because most people are afraid of the fear. They're not afraid of they don't know what they're losing yet. Right. So by standing still, you don't know what you're losing. But the fear is there from the jump.
It's true. The fear of change. Here's the greatest thing about change. Change is profoundly terrifying, but at the exact same time, it's liberating, because it's like you ever seen the part of Indiana Jones where he takes the sand and he throws it across into this into the abyss, and all of a sudden you can see the walkway where you're supposed to walk, and the camera shifts probably 45 degrees, and all of a sudden you see where you can walk. That's life. That's
Perception.
life.
That's your perception. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm afraid of standing still. Well, get my fucking countdown on, motherfucker.
Oh, whoa. My bad.
Jeez.
Here we go.
Man, you blew that one.
All right.
Standing still is going to kill you. 100%. I don't mean physically. I mean, it could be physically, but I'll tell you one thing. If you stand still, you will die. Whatever that means for your life. My parents have a beautiful home in a very, very nice neighborhood, in a very luxury like mindset area. They gave it all up and they moved to a ranch, and they bought chickens and sheep and land. Why? Because they were standing still. They were bored. They were done with it. So they made a shift in life. And guess what, guys and gals? They are the happiest that they could be. So I challenge you right now. Go change in whatever that means. I mean, for me, that is the dumbest thing. When I think about it, I could say, but I'll tell you one thing. I've been more empowered in the last 3 days because I've done 3 small things. I've done 10 push-ups per day. Now, I know that sounds pathetic, but it's better than doing 0. I'm walking miles and miles and miles. I'm getting in better shape. I've lost weight. You know what? I've cut down on a lot of things in my life that are bad for my health, but those are small things. These are small things. So for your business, if you're going to stay exactly where you are, you're going to die where you are. So stop doing that. Your business is demanding that you do something different. So put a mailer out, put an email out, put a text out, do a couple of phone calls, do a couple of text messages. Does not matter. But don't stand still where you are, because you're never going to progress from the exact place you are, hearing my voice, listening, looking at my face, than you are today. And
oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
I wasn't, but it's okay.
bad.
Cut me off.
My bad.
Go
No,
ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
Go ahead. I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
No, we had some comments from May. She was, or yeah, she or he. I don't know. May would maybe
May,
a she.
May is a lady here in my
May,
area.
okay. All right.
Hi,
So
May.
sorry about that. Yeah, my bad. But dropping some comments here. So meaning, so change is happening. Is it a forced change, death, house burned down, etc.? So I look at that when she's talking about what is change. I think like what we're talking about is the choice of change. So you're choosing to change, you're choosing to do the hard things because the thing that you want is always through the hard thing that you don't want to do, like flat out 100%. So what she's referring to, like death, divorce, house burns down, I view that as adapting. And so like even though they kind of would be considered the same thing, when you're forced to do something, you're forced to adapt. When you're choosing to change, you were doing it for yourself, and so one's reactionary and one's proactive, right? Does that make sense?
True. It makes total sense. 100% sense. It's
And then she also says about peace and gratitude. So is change always necessary? What about peace and gratitude and comfort?
well, yes, change is 100% necessary in life. And again, this is my opinion, not the world's opinion, but my opinion. As much as it burns and hurts and it's just heartache after heartache after heartache, change is necessary. I mean, I've had business partners leave. I've had, different things fall apart, but then at the exact same time, I've had something that comes into my life that allows me to grow in a different part of my life that I didn't know. Oh, good God, hiccups. Where are these things coming from? I don't know where they're coming from, but they suck. But they allowed me to grow. So how do I say this? Don't be afraid of the shifts. Don't be afraid of the ups and downs, the hills and the valleys. The hills and the valleys are great. The hills, when you win something, uh, fucking take it as a win. When you have a valley, take it as an opportunity to learn. And then you put it back into your life cycle, whatever that's going to look like. And you just say, oh my gosh, well, this happened, or that happened, or I won this, or I lost that, whatever it's going to be. I'm not a psychologist, guys. I'm not trained in this in any way, shape, or form.
I am trained, and I'm gonna school you in a second.
Please,
I'm not trained. I'm not trained at all. But...
Oh God, I'm like, really? I've known you for years. I didn't know that about you. My point is this: is as realtors, I mean, Nick and I both have been doing this game for a long period of time. Ups and downs, it's gonna happen. Take it or lose it. I don't care. If you want to stay in the game, great. If you want to get out, great. Doesn't fucking matter to me. My point is this: as a human, just go out there and enjoy the ride. Because when you get done with the ride, it's over. But at least you can say, I tried, or I gave it my best, or fill in the blank of whatever that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And I keep going back to what I said earlier. Don't be afraid of change.
Well, I'm going to challenge you on that frame.
Afraid of standing still. Okay, challenge me. Go.
Instead of saying, don't be afraid to change, right? Because everybody's afraid to change. And if I say, don't be afraid to change, and then you automatically go, well, I am afraid, so fuck you. I'm stuck, right? Instead of saying, don't be afraid to change, say, it's okay to be afraid. It's not okay to be afraid and not move forward.
That's exactly what this whole thing says.
You have to move forward. You have to continue to move forward. And there's a very thin line between being nervous and excited.
Well, don't they live together? I mean, when you're nervous and excited,
if you tell your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and not reality, right? So like, here's one of the things I bring up public speaking because it's a big deal. I mean, I'm talking about like, I don't know what a panic attack is. I've never claimed or said I've had a panic attack, But when your heart is beating out of your chest and you're involuntarily sweating and you can't catch your breath from speaking because you're so afraid to get out on stage and talk to people, like maybe that's a panic attack. I don't know. But in that moment, or in those moments, I can't really think of anything else I'd be quite as afraid of, unless you dumped a bunch of snakes on me, which that's a whole nother thing. But anyway,
Oh, we're gonna
that's
go
an
deep on
unnatural
that one.
fear. But in that moment, I'm really excited. I'm not nervous. So I literally told myself, I'm so excited to do this thing and to share my knowledge that this is why I feel this way. It's excitement. It's not scared, because I'm not going to die. Right. So if it's you picking up that phone and doing the calls, and whether or if it's turning on the camera for the first time and recording video so you can make content for your business, if it's going on that listing presentation that you're absolutely terrified of, you're putting too much emphasis on the thing. It doesn't matter what happens during that thing. It doesn't matter if you completely bomb in front of 100,000 people. There will be 100 million more people that can still hear your message years later. There's going to be another seller around the corner that wants to hear your listing presentation. There's going to be another for sale by owner that you can talk to the next day. You put too much emphasis on the thing and feeling stupid. So it's okay to be nervous, but change that nervous to excitement, and then just move past it. You got to just once you do that a few times and you start building that muscle, then you know how to react, and you know what's on the other side. Because if you experience what's on the other side, which is complete relief and joy, and like, oh my God, I made this out to be so much worse than it was in my own head. We get trapped in our own head, then you can really start excelling, right?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Last year, I went to the hospital. They thought I had a brain bleed, and they rushed me in to the ER and into all kinds of scans and everything else, right? Dude, I went through I don't know if it's a stroke or something else that I had, but I'll tell you one thing. I came out of a medical procedure and I just collapsed on the ground. I was just lights over, just done, blackness over, just there was nothing there. I used to be really afraid of fear, really afraid of fear, of death, excuse me. And I learned something that day when I potentially almost died, that death is absolutely glorious. And when I realized that death was nothing to fear, then rejection is nothing to fear. I know it sounds trivial, excuse me, but
That wouldn't be trivial. That sounded pretty heavy. I wouldn't say trivial.
dude, it was. I think about it almost every single day, because I think about the fact that 1 minute I was standing in one of those retarded little gallons they give you,
Yeah.
where you can see all my giblets when I fall down, right? And all of a sudden, the next thing, I'm waking up 3 or 4 days later, knowing that I fought off. I got told that I have fought off, 4 different security guards, 2 different nurses, and my own girlfriend. And I sat there. I'm like, why are we so afraid of hearing the word no? When I went through potential death, if I wasn't in a hospital, but I wasn't afraid of that, but I'm afraid of getting told no on a phone, or getting told no to door, or I'm getting told no of doing any kind of prospecting in real estate. Doesn't that sound a little bit off? I mean, that's kind of upside down in my personal opinion, because I lived through it. And I literally, Nick, at this point, I've never told anybody at this point what I'm going to tell you right now. I actually welcome death. I'm looking forward to death. I can't wait for death, because it's what I have experienced. It was peace, just there was nothing. It was just so silent. There was nothing there to irritate you anymore. You're just done. So I guess the reason why I tell this story is the fact that everything that you put into your head right now about a fear is ridiculous because it means nothing. You make it have power. So stop giving it power and allow yourself to, the best life that you can possibly live. Nick, what is anything that you've come close to experiencing close to death that could be relevant for somebody to kind of correlate kind of what I'm saying?
I mean, there was that one time in high school I did the Taco Bell challenge. That was probably about as close to death as I've ever come.
That's a lot of Taco Bell, dude.
I think we got to get Jackie to stop putting glass in your food. Like what's going on over there? There's got to be something. I got to call in a private investigator or something. This is crazy. No, I haven't had any near-death experience. I've had a couple surgeries, sports related, as far as getting knocked out and stuff, but like with anesthesia. But no, I haven't had anything. Panic attack, like trying to get on stage or actually getting on stage and doing a big speech in front of a lot of people was my biggest thing. I'd say fear related. That once I got through that, then I realized, oh, this isn't a big deal. But all the little steps up to that, right? I mean, I did cold calling. I've never done door knocking. So that's one thing in my career.
You got
never gone neighborhood wise. And probably, I don't know if it's from the fear of door knocking, because I think cold calling is just as bad, right? It's literally the physical. We live in Florida. It's 100 degrees. I would make it halfway down the block and I'd be an absolutely sweaty puddle. And there's no way in hell that anybody would say yes to a giant fat man sweating on their front porch for business. Like that's just not a good look. So I never did it.
But that is exactly what people need to do, because of the fact that I'm not going to be rude, but I'm going to be rude. If you're a fat man and you're sweating on the front porch and you're asking for business, you're a hustler, you're a grinder, you're the guy out there that I want to have work for me. There's a gal, well, at this point, 10 years ago, she was a younger Asian gal, and she took my class at my old brokerage, and she went out on Christmas Day and knocked on this $3 to $5 million home. And she's like, hey, I want to list your house. I've called you multiple times, blah, 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 yakety schmack. And
yakety schmack.
Yakety schmack. When you say yakety schmack, everybody says, oh, okay.
You know, it's a good story. Yeah.
It's a great story. And the guy looks at her and goes, if you're knocking on my front door on Christmas morning, this is the agent I want to hire.
Yeah.
And so he hired her, and she sold the home. So that's the thing. I mean, Nick doesn't want to do it or won't do it or hasn't done it, but he will do it. Any of those, ideas in life, do the thing that frightens the crap out of you and just see what happens. I mean, if you haven't done it, you don't know the answer yet. Just go say, hi, my name's Greg. My name's Nick. I'm with ABC Real Estate, and I would love to help you sell your property and get you into a new one. What the fuck are they gonna do if they say no? I mean, what's the worst response? Okay, well, appreciate you, but you tried, and nobody else did.
Paul's got a motto for you, Greg.
Oh,
yakety schmack, don't look back. That's what you say when you get ready to do something. Yakety schmack, don't look back. And I'm going 1, 2, 3, go.
All right, I'm using that from now on, Paul.
Yeah, good stuff.
By the way, if you guys don't know who Paul is a very good dear friend of mine. He is a cold caller like you wouldn't believe. He lives up in the hills above Los Angeles. This guy, he got snowed in over 17 feet of snow plus some, and he went out and helped all of his neighbors dig them out, mark their cars so the plows wouldn't hit them. He is an incredible human being, and he plays a mean guitar, by the way. If you guys are looking for a guitarist or a jingle or something very, very cool that you couldn't make yourself, like me, Paul is your man. So
Adam House says he already has an update that he got no emails. Now I will ask, because I think he posted on YouTube that he sent 40 emails out. So I would say keep going. 40 emails is not a lot of emails. If you have a decent click-through rate, I mean 20% of people actually clicking it, much less, like, you have to send, that sample size needs to be bigger. So don't say I sent 40 emails and nobody replied yet and get down on yourself. Keep going, bro. You got more ground to cover.
Keep going big time. Let's do this. We're gonna wrap it up. We are at 30 minutes on this one. Do we want to do one more question, or are we out the door?
No, we're out the door. Unless somebody on live can ask a question right now. Or go to the link. Click the link. Submit your question on the show. We'll post you on the show. Give you some praise, like Adam, our boy. We love to hear your questions, and we want to answer them live.
We do. And if we don't get to them on time, ladies and gentlemen, we will get back to you guys in the post show. I guess, Nick, one last question for you. You're a new agent. You're just getting into the business. You got $5 to your name. Where would you start right now?
With $5?
$5 to your name. You're broke as a joke. You just got out of college. You know, you see this guy driving a Lambo, driving down the street. He does real estate. He's selling multi-million-dollar homes. How do you compete with someone like that?
Yeah,
I have my answer.
Take that $5 and buy yourself a double espresso to keep you up for 24 hours, and take every single contact that you know, from your phone, from your Gmail, from your Outlook, from your social media, and put all those people into a database and create a system around contacting those people and letting them know that you are in real estate, and having the Ford conversation, as Greg loves to have. Which is what, Greg?
What? Or the family, occupation, recreation, and dreams?
That's right.
Ford. Yeah, guys.
Get in touch with people. Let them know who you are and what you do. Ask about their family, right? Ask about their occupation,
recreation,
what they like to do, and how you can help them do those things they like to do. Like, AKA, I love to be on a jet ski on the water. Well, let's find you a waterfront house. And then that ties into dreams too, right?
It does. So, Nick, if you weren't living in Florida, where would you move?
If I wasn't in Florida, I want 100 acres somewhere. I want a ranch away from all you people.
He means that not to the people listening.
No. I mean that because I live in Tampa, Florida, and I want you guys to understand that 1,000 people a day are moving to Florida, and we are, like, this whole landscape. I grew up in Tampa. Our whole everything has changed in the past 2 to 3 years since the pandemic. There is just so many people. I'm talking about even basic stuff. Wednesday afternoon going to Chili's and there's a 40-minute wait. Like, ridiculous amount of people at ridiculous times of day for no reason. Everybody's here. There's too many people here now. It's too much. It's way. So I used to want a big waterfront house, and that was my thing, like being on the water. Now I'm like, give me 100 acres. If there's a lake on the property with water, that's my jam. But that would be, so my boy Raymond in North Carolina, I got my eye on North Carolina, Winston-Salem area, or anybody else has got 100-acre ranch for your boy, let me know. It's going to happen sometime. Maybe not this year, next year, whatever, but like, that would be the ultimate goal for me.
Dude, I got your back on that one. I looked at 117 acres for $615,000 in Colorado, hunting, fishing kind of area. And I'm like, dude, give me like a couple of containers, and I can build my own house out there.
Yeah.
I got enough guns to supply a fucking small army. I'll go out there, I'll hunt, I'll fish, and I'll just do my own damn thing and just leave everybody the fuck alone. I'll still do podcasting. Don't get me wrong. I'm never gonna stop doing this. This is fun. This is my jam. But then Nick and I can communicate through shortwave radio, and
our bat phones will be shortwave.
Our bat phones, exactly. But all jokes aside, guys and gals, really figure out kind of what you want to do in life. And
Do the
once
thing
you
that scares you. That's it. End of story.
scare the fuck out of
Period.
yourself.
Don't get
I'm
too
not-
comfortable. That's all.
I'm not going swimming with sharks. Not doing that. Sorry. But besides that, I'm good to go. Nick, final takeaways. Give me your final thoughts.
That's it, dude. I just did like the thing that scares you the most is what you have to do to get to the other side. And you know
There
what it
it
is.
is.
That's the thing. Like you already know what it is. You already know what you should be doing in your business. The people, so look, the businesses that are successful, that are hyper successful and or ultra successful, that you admire, are doing all the things that you know you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Flat out. Every single day, without exception, rain, sleet, house burns down. They're doing the things that you're not doing.
All right. There it is, guys
Fundamental.
and gals.
Yeah.
That's your takeaway right there. Just go out there, put on a giant pair of man balls for all you ladies, and for all of us men as well. And just go out and do shit that fucking scares you to shit. Here's the reason why. Nick just said it. Go back and listen to it. But it's, you know what? It's because nobody else is doing it. And the one thing is that we love you guys the most for is the fact that you guys listen to us and we hang out together. You keep subscribing to the stuff we put out there. So thank you so much. We appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. And we could not do this show without you. So, Nick, they have to get a hold of you because they want to help you buy that ranch. Where can
That's
they
right,
find you to help you buy that ranch?
nicksakis.com, nicksakkis.com. It's got all my links to all my things.
So many jokes.
Yeah.
All right, go find Nick, guys. Member is Nick Sakis, SAKKIS.com.
Or
Go
when I was playing
find him.
baseball, it was Nick Sakis. I got that a lot.
Oh, Sakis.
Nick Sakis to the plate. It was like I was a Japanese sumo wrestler.
Well,
Sakis.
and he's not a sumo wrestler, ladies and gentlemen. He is a very thin, fit human being that is crushing skulls and
If you've
kicking
only
ass and
ever
taking names.
listened to the podcast, I am extremely jacked and lean.
He actually is. Anyways, boys and girls, go follow Nick Sakis on everywhere that he is. Go follow me at Greg McDaniel, REU for Real Estate Uncensored on Instagram. And just go to Facebook and just type in Greg McDaniel. Look for my beautiful, handsome face, the big guy with the glasses. And interact with me, send me a message. I'd love to be friends with you guys. Have a blessed and powerful day. And until the next show, peace out, ninjas. We gone.